And here we are, back at the beach again today. Look at this pristine shoreline behind me. Hopefully there's some surf perch hanging out in that little surf zone right here. There's actually a nice hole right behind me. But first, we're gonna get this rod set up. We're doing something a little bit different than what I did in my previous surf fishing video. If you watched that one, we dunked sand crabs, caught a bunch of different fish, caught some striper, a few different kinds of perch, other stuff along with it. And yeah, it was a fun day. But today, we're doing the oldest trick in the book. When I was a kid, surf fishing along the California coastline right here, this is basically all we did. What we did was we tied on a Carolina rig, and we tied on a little grub, and we just cast and walked along the beach. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today. So let's get that set up. Again, if you're new to surf fishing, this is another great way to fish. Super easy. This is probably the easiest way to do it. You can set everything up before you get to the beach, get to the sand, cast right into the water. You don't need to worry about getting bait, you don't need to worry about setting up your rod, whatever. You just come here, cast, and hopefully catch fish. So if you watched the last video, I still have my fish finder rig tied on here, and the Carolina rig is pretty similar to this. So what I'm gonna do is just cut off this little slider thing right here, this little black piece. Take that off. Keep the bead, because I'm actually gonna use that. And then I brought with me a couple of egg weights, like that. I believe this is a 2 ounce, which is kind of heavy, but the surf behind me is a little bit rough, so that's why I'm going to start with this one. I would say anywhere, if your rod can handle it, anywhere from like 2 ounces is pretty heavy. Maybe you could do 3 if you have a heavier rod and the surf is super rough. But yeah, 2 is probably a good word. Anywhere from 2 to 1, maybe even a ½ ounce. If it's calm and you don't need to cast super far, you can probably get away with that. But yeah, I think 2 ounces is gonna be what we're gonna need for today. So I'm just tying that on. It's a uni knot, I believe. Like so. Tighten that down. Like that. Tag end. Put that off. And there you have it. Pretty similar. All I did was swap that black slider for this little egg weight. And I have my leader. And at the end, this is the octopus hook that I was using. But I'm going to cut this off. The reason I'm cutting this off is because I brought with me a package. This was sent to me by actually the sponsor for today's video. So shout out to Hook to Cook for sponsoring this video. And he sent me this goodie bag with a bunch of gear to hopefully help me catch some perch. If you watched any of my previous videos, you've probably seen me use the perch pouch. Well, he's the one who designed that. Honestly, I didn't open up this box beforehand, so hopefully he got me what I needed, because I didn't bring any other gear. So let's just open this up and see what's in there. Right off the bat, this box is full. A little glove. Honestly, this is clutch, because I have actually never used one of these. And what it's for is so that when you're casting braided line, especially heavier setups, like crab snares especially, that braid can actually cut through your finger. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna need this today. The Carolina rig is pretty light, but a good little tool to have nonetheless. Second, we have a little plug right here. This is kind of similar to the plug I used in another video where I kind of ran into a little striped bass blitz. It's a little different, but yeah, same idea. This one actually has some bigger hooks on it, so probably a little bit more well-equipped for those big striper hooks. That's why I cut off the hook that I had on there. I'm going to use one of these. Okay, he gave me a little note. Adam, here's one of every surf perch grub from the Hook to Cook shop. So let me just show you really quick. We're just going to speed through them. If you want to get a variety, well, here's literally one of everything that you can find. So we have a few from Battlestar Tackle, a few different colors, like 1 1/4 inch long, basically a little sand crab imitation, kind of a natural color, water oil red flake, That's like a classic color. Oh, these are cool, like a little red head. And then this one, blue with blue flake, or silver flake, I should say. And then we have some honey badger baits. So these are paddle tail. We got the green Moro red flake, and then I don't know, more like a watermelon color. Pretty similar colors, but yeah, these are classics. Oh my god, we have so many here. I don't want to bore you, but we have a ton of different colors. Flip-flops and socks. We have these ones right here, the Gotham baits. I've used these before, more sand crab imitations. All kinds of different colors. Purple, blue, green, red tails. There's even more, yeah, more red tail, different colors of these Gotham baits. Boom, paddle tails, more paddle tails, light green, dark green. We got all kinds of different colors today. I think we're gonna start with a classic. Oh, actually we gotta get a hook first. And this is a slightly bigger grub, so I'm gonna tie on this slightly bigger hook. This one right here, it's like a size 2. This grub, and that leader that we already showed you. The tide is coming up, so I wanna do that before I get washed away here. Look at this guy just hanging out right here. I believe that's a great blue heron, and you don't really see these at the beach too often. I'm not sure what he's doing here, but that's a big bird. But actually, in a long, old video, I was kayak fishing for some big trout, and I saw one of these on the bank, tangled up in some fishing line, and I saved it. So, be nice to me, I saved one of your ancestors. But let me tell you, when you get up close to these guys, that beak, very sharp, very big, definitely can do some damage. Moro red flake, that paddle tail. Alright, let's go get them. So the really nice thing about casting these grubs on a Carolina rig is you're super mobile. Pretty much as mobile as it gets. So you can literally cast, walk the beach, cover a lot of ground. It's a very active way of fishing. You don't need to carry a lot of gear, so you can easily move from spot to spot. And when you're fishing the surf, honestly, the more mobile you are, the better, in my humble opinion. Oh, there we go. Fish. Fish. Didn't take too long. Be like my 10th cast or something like that. Definitely a perch. I don't know how big this is. Doesn't feel huge, but oh, it's starting to fight a little more. All right, it's growing. Oh, okay. That's not bad. Fat. But you know what? Definitely a size worth keeping. But just for good luck, I'm gonna let the first one go. Let's just get her back. Thank you for coming. If we get you another one like that, we're keeping it. I did bring my perch pouch with me today, but that one came on that motor oil red flake. Ooh, I kind of like this. I like this color, but I wanted to try. Yeah, let's try this one. Motor oil red glitters. So this one's a little different shape from the traditional paddle tail grub. This one's more of like that sand crab imitation with these little appendages. Which reminds me of separating. So those will flop in the current and the waves and stuff. Still the same color, but this is from Gotham baits. Messed me up. Look at that, he bit off all of the appendages. Pulled the pants down, as they say. Pulled that right. It was up like this, and I pulled it down. Alright, let's get a new one. There we go. There we go. And this is just a little guy. Little one, but it's a welcome fish. It's been a little bit of a dry spell since that first one. So we'll get him. There we go. Oh, that. Oh, yeah, it's still there. Oh, that's why. Felt heavy because it was coming in kind of sideways, but probably swiped at it. Just missed the hook in the mouth, but got him on the side. That's a red tail surf perch. You can tell the tails are a little more red, and also the dorsal fin comes to a point. The barred surf perch are more rounded, and these surf perch have to be 10.5 inches in order to keep. So this one's a little bit small, but yeah, another species. Also very good eating. If we get a bigger one, it's a good chance that I'll throw them in the perch pouch, but for now this one gets to live. Nice looking fish. Definitely less structure than the first spot we were fishing. Sometimes the fish are still there though. Just because there's not a lot of structure doesn't mean there's no fish. There we go. There we go. Stay on there. Decent fish, decent fish. Yeah, not bad. Oh yeah, really nice. All right, so we're looking for some perch to take home for dinner, so we're gonna add this one to the bag. Got this one on motor oil red flake. That one right there, probably about 10, 11 inches. Not huge, but hey, that's gonna be a good eating fish right there. So another item from the Hook to Cook shop that I didn't mention earlier is this perch pouch. I've been using it for a little while, and nice little kind of fish bag for your catch. Super convenient. Just rip the gills here, get it started bleeding, and then take my pouch, just slide it right in there. That'll bleed out in there, and I can keep fishing just like that. If I had waders on, I could clip this to my belt, but I'm just rocking the board shorts today, so just set it down there. Back to casting. There we go. Oh, that feels like a decent one. That feels like a nice one. Stay on there. Stay on there. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a good fish. Another one, number 2. That one fought pretty good. I actually thought that one was a little bit bigger than it was, but surf perch are really good fighting fish. Oftentimes when you hook a big one, they can be easily confused for, striped bass. And the nice thing about these surf perches, they're all up and down the west coast, all the way from Mexico, all the way up to, I actually don't even know how far north. They definitely have them in all of the US states, all the way up to Washington, but I think you probably catch them even farther north, up into Canada. I'm not totally sure on that, don't quote me, but yeah, any sandy beach will have surf perch. If you get into the rocky areas, there's other kinds of perch. But yeah, sandy beaches is where this kind of technique I think is super effective with the Carolina rig. If you get into the rocks, more likely to get snagged up and stuff. But yeah, obviously no snags out here in the sand. Seems like we're into a good school right here. I'm getting a bite, at least a bite on almost every cast. There's a little bit of grass in the water, so that's making it a little bit tough, but just working around it for now. So for the most part, with most of these Carolina rigs, plastic drugs, I'll just do a kind of a steady retrieve with like a, you know, a little bit of a pop here and there. But sometimes once the bait gets in close where I think it's in a nice spot, I'll actually just have it sit there. It's dead sticking. Oh, one's sitting right here. Oh man, we're hitting it. Definitely a lot of fish in this little hole here. I think there's a lot of smaller ones, which is why we're having quite a few short strikes here. Perfect conditions right now. I think it's either just after high tide or, you know, right at high tide. So a lot of these fish, when the tide's coming in, they come in with it. They're coming in to feed on sand crabs mostly, and that's when they come in really tight to shore. That's number 3. A little bit smaller. Let's hit the sand. A little bit smaller, but still nice fish. I think I'm gonna let this one go. Hit it on the paws, just like I was just saying earlier. Yeah, you can see the pattern there. Kind of yellowish bars down the side. These are called barred sand crabs. Barred surf perch because of those bars right here. All right, let's get back. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, biggest one of the day right there. Nice eater. That's definitely 12 inches. You can see why they're such good fighters. One, they just have huge fins to push all that water, and 2, they spend all their time in the surf where all that water is going back and forth, tons of current, so they got to be strong to survive. Yeah, that one fought really good. Yeah, we got probably maybe 15 minutes left of daylight before the sunset, so I'm gonna get back in there, see if I can get any more. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really nice one. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Oh, big head shake. Big head shake. Oh, stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Oh, that's why. It's not even a perch. Oh, look at that. Striper on the Carolina rig grub. Yeah. This is what I was talking about earlier. How sometimes you can confuse the small striper with a big perch because they're so strong. Bonus fish. It's probably a good one to end on. But there he is. Striper, you can see that grub hanging out of the mouth there. I'll talk a little bit more about the grubs that worked well for me today, but first just want to show you the fish, get him unhooked, and then get him on his way. Technically you could keep this. Definitely a keeper. This has to be 18 inches in California in order to keep. That one's probably 23-ish, something like that. But I'm happy with the perch, so this one, it's a lucky day. Nice, clean striper. Clean stripes. Alright. Get him some water. Off he goes. Thanks for playing. Well, before it gets dark, I just want to show you the setup. People have been asking me about what rod and reel I like to use in the surf. Honestly, it doesn't have to be too specific, especially with this Carolina rig setup. something in the 9 to 10 foot range for the rod, kind of medium to medium heavy maybe, with a 3,000 to 4,000 size reel. The rod is one that I'm actually working on designing. Hopefully that one will be available probably early next year at the earliest. I'm still working on fine-tuning a few things. But the reel, like I said, any 3,000 to 4,000 size reel I think is good. For the most part, you kind of get what you pay for. The more expensive reels will last you a little bit longer. They'll be a little bit nicer, higher quality. This is a Daiwa BG 3000. I think it's like a good middle of the ground. I honestly don't even know how much they cost nowadays. But as far as spinning reels goes, I think it's kind of mid-tier. It's not super expensive, but also not super cheap. And I think they last pretty well. This one actually is starting to give out. If you can see there, the anti-reverse is not perfect anymore. Only catches sometimes, but yeah, gets the job done. Caught a lot of fish on this one already. So I actually yesterday I used a lot more different kinds, and I actually had bites on every single brand of grub that I tried. But today I just brought out a few of my favorites. Like I said before, this motor oil red flake is one of my favorites. It's tough to go wrong with the motor oil red flake. And I got actually most of the fish I caught on this one right here, the Zombie Slayer 2. Once again, motor oil red flake. And then the last two fish, one perch and then the striper, were on this one, the Got 'em Baits motor oil red glitters. So in conclusion, if you're gonna get maybe one or two baits, I definitely would get at least one of those with the motor oil red flake. Morph, as some people will call it. Actually, for the longest time, I didn't even know what that was. I don't know why they call it a morph grub, but it's just an acronym for motor oil red flake. Once again, shout out to Hook to Cook for sponsoring this video. All this stuff, all these baits that you saw are all on his website. Definitely recommend checking him out. If you haven't seen any of his YouTube videos, he also has a YouTube channel based in Central California, doing a lot of surf fishing, just like we did today. So check him out if you're interested in that. But for now, signing off. Thank you all for watching. Watching the sunset behind you. Might take a couple more casts, but I gotta start working my way back to the car because it's gonna get dark quick. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one.